She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done, we're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I'm looking forward to bringing today's guest into our business spotlight. Rachael Davila is a virtual assistant mentor, author, and founder of Extra Hands Virtual Assistants. A seasoned VA since 2005, Rachael has seen both sides of the deck. Hiring her first VA in 2021 gave her a deep understanding of the challenges business owners face when it comes to delegation. Through her mentorship, agency, and popular podcast, Hey, Do I Need a VA?, Rachael has helped countless entrepreneurs find, hire, and work effectively with the right fit virtual assistants. Those who truly match their business needs, not just the cheapest. Her mission is simple: to turn overwhelmed entrepreneurs into confident delegators by bridging the gap between VA and client for smoother, more productive partnerships. As somebody who has a VA who I love, I'm so glad you are doing this. So with all that said, Rachael, welcome to Word of Mom Radio.
Thank you for having me, Dori.
It's my pleasure. And I would love for you to take us on your journey that has now led to the creation of Extra Hands Virtual Assistants.
So it goes all the way back to 2004. I was working for a corporation and I had 2 young kids at home. And, any mom who works for somebody else knows that as soon as you get vacation time, it's gone because your kids get sick or you use it up in all kinds of ways, not for what it's meant for. And right before Thanksgiving, they let us all know that we were getting downsized in the new year. And I started to research what could I do that I enjoyed, but that still gave me the flexibility to be home for my young family. And I found virtual assistants on accident. I was looking at something completely different and I came across a website. And the woman on the other end talked to me for an entire hour about being a virtual assistant and what it looked like and what it was. And I felt the magic of that, knowing that that was what I wanted to be when I grew up, at least at that point. And I started a 20-week training program, and every assignment we had, I put into practice so that when my job was done, then I could just step into my business. And the program itself wasn't to teach the tools of the trade, but the idea, the identity of becoming a business owner as a virtual assistant. And I just felt that was such a unique, I didn't know you could make a job out of a career out of being an administrative assistant for small businesses. And I loved every piece of that. And I stepped into a niche that was something I had grown up with. My dad was a promotional products factory rep, multi-line. So he traveled all the time and needed an on-site, or not really on-site, but, a center point of contact. And I had been a stage manager and I loved being the center point of contact for the production. And so it felt like the right fit. And over the years, my client base has shifted and pivoted, and I've had to readjust what I learn, what I do, what I offer. But being the behind the scenes person for a business owner so that they can shine in front of their clients has always been just soul filling. So that's kind of the journey. I started it because I was a mom, because I wanted to be home for my kids. I was able to build my business while they were in school. And get this, Dori, never sick. Never needed the day off again because I was home and they didn't, I didn't need to stress about where that time was going to come from. And so, but it's been just an amazing, I was valued. I wasn't a line item on a spreadsheet. I was a valued member of a team, and I got to contribute to people's businesses in a way that they didn't even know was possible. And that I was just bringing my expertise and my zone of genius to what they wanted to accomplish. And I still get to do that. And I love that on a daily basis. So Mondays, I don't stress about Mondays anymore. I love Mondays because I get to go back to work and do stuff.
It's funny you say Mondays. When my kids were young, I used to call it Menial Mom Monday because I didn't have time on the weekends to do laundry and food shopping. My kids were all in sports. I had sometimes 10 games in a day on a Saturday and a Sunday. Oh yeah, it was crazy. So I was all over. So Mondays was my laundry, shopping, blah, blah, blah. Now it's Word of Mom Day. It's my recording day, and I back-to-back record. I kind of translated it over, and now I'm a Mimi. So there have been times my grandchildren have been with me when I've recorded. My granddaughter's 5. Mimi, remember when I would do the show with you? And she would be waving as we were doing our Zoom recordings and things. My grandson has asked questions every once in a while when he found a subject fascinating. So I know exactly what you mean insofar as when you are your own boss, especially as a VA, you have the time because of all the scheduling devices that there are out there to be able to take the chunk of time that you need when it doesn't matter if you're doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning, because it is on your own time that you are now moving it across. In that whole realm of VAs, what are some of the myths that you are constantly fighting against? Because people, oh, I tried it once, it was awful, I didn't have a good time, what do I do? People who are gun shy about giving somebody that kind of control of their online presence.
So in 2005, when I started, no one knew what a VA was. I mean, every time I said, hey, I'm a VA, they thought I worked for the Veterans Administration. And so I've always had to educate people on what it is that a virtual assistant does and why it's valuable. And now, 20 years later, everyone knows what a virtual assistant is, but the term has become so synonymous with everything from an AI chatbot on a website all the way up to executive level administrative support. And so I feel like people come into, well, I need a VA. I need a VA. Everyone keeps saying I need a VA. And so they come in with this mindset of just hire someone. Everywhere you look, it's outsource it. Philippines, India, you can find a $5 VA to do what you want to do. But what many coaches and books and people don't say is know yourself as a business owner, because as wonderful as all the different virtual assistants out there are, they're not right for every client. And I am a firm believer that there is a right fit for everybody, but you have to take into account your leadership style, your managing style. How well do you know your business and the tasks that you're handing off so that you can clearly communicate? Does it look right? Does it sound right? Is that me? Do I want that to represent me? And many clients are in that state of overwhelm where they just need help. Anybody will do because I can't do it all. And they're in that place of, I just got to hand this off. Not many have their systems and processes in place or documented where somebody could just step in and take it over. And one of the myths is all virtual assistants are the same. Well, they're not. And I tell clients about, I call them doers and collaborators. So a doer is somebody who says, tell me what to do and I'll do it. They'll do it great. They work well with clients who have clear processes and procedures, can clearly communicate what they're looking for. And right, then the VA can just step in and do the tasks as outlined. On the other side, collaborators are more solution oriented. They look at the big picture. What are the tasks that you are asking about, and where do they fit in your goals, your dreams, the direction for your business? And they often say, here's how I can help. What we can do is X, Y, and Z. And those types of VAs are good for visionaries, people who are at that high level thinking, but can't break the tasks down to individual steps. They don't necessarily have their systems and processes in place. They might go, well, I know I need to add social media. I don't know what that looks like. I don't necessarily understand how it fits in, but I need to add it. And so then a VA can step in and maybe say, well, what are you using it for? What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to include? What's the messaging? They ask more questions. Where a doer is, all the ownership is on the client. As a collaborator, they take on more of the ownership and lead the relationship a little bit more. And so what I find when things don't work out, it's usually because the client needs a collaborator type and they've hired a doer type. And they didn't have all the things in place for that. And so even just the understanding that there are different types of ways that VAs work and what they do can really help a client to determine, oh, I really need that solution one, right? Versus the doer one, because I don't have those things in place. And I also tell clients, you can hire a collaborator first to help you get all those things in place, and then hand those tasks off to a more doer type, because VAs will work together. We're very collaborative in that, you know, I have friends and colleagues that fill in the gaps that I don't do, because I'm like, I can't do everything. And there's a lot of things that I don't want to learn how to do. And my close friend Leanne, she's the techie side. I'm more of the creative side. And so we fill in each other's gaps. But she's always telling me I can't break the internet. And I'm like, I might beg to differ, because it freaks me out, some of the technology aspects. And so having a circle of colleagues, we can get work done even if we're not the ones doing it. And so I think a lot of clients come in thinking, I have to have one VA who does everything. And to your point, I think sometimes clients come in with, but I don't want to hand off everything. I don't want to give up this piece of what I do. The truth is, you don't have to. The truth is, within every task, I mean, you've probably seen it, right? You write one item on your to-do list and it ends up being like 14 different steps. Within those steps are things that you want to do and things that you would love somebody else to do. And so a VA does not have to take over a whole thing. They can take on the elements that the client doesn't want to do. And so it still goes back to, how well do you know what you're doing? And how well do you know yourself, right? What are the gaps that you have? We all have gaps. When I hired my first VA, I did none of the pre-work I tell people to do in my book. That's what the book came from, was me learning all of that pre-work stuff. But I thought, erroneously, I didn't know the two kinds of VAs at that point in time. I thought all VAs were the same and I'm awesome, so everyone's awesome. My VA is awesome. They're still with me, but they were a high school senior. They did graphics beautifully, but they were very much, this is a side job, something I'm doing for extra money, not a business. And we've spent 3 years mentoring that it is a business and you got to think of it as a business. And that's also a myth, I think, that people have. My neighbor's daughter can do bookkeeping or data entry, so she's a virtual assistant. Well, not necessarily. They just like doing the tasks. So my definition is a virtual assistant is a business owner working with business owners to do the administrative and operations virtually. And I think a lot of people get caught up with, well, if I can just find somebody to do this thing, then they're my virtual assistant. And that's not, that kind of waters it down a little bit too.
On that note, think of what Rachel just said. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to say thank you to our supporters, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Word of Mom Radio. She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA, and in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Rachael Davila, owner of Extra Hands Virtual Assistants, and some of the myths that are out there. I love the $5 myth that you can just outsource. I have a hard time with that one. Tremendously, because I think it's incredibly important, especially if you have a VA that is handling your social media and your online presence, that it is somebody speaking in your voice. So outsourcing this out of the country, I just don't see how that's possible. So I would love for you to talk about that. To me, cheap is expensive.
Yes, cheap is not always inexpensive. And I think I often show people, if you hire somebody at $15 an hour, but it takes them 3 hours to do something that someone at $50 or $60 can do in 20 minutes, are you really saving money? And the answer is no, you're not, because within those 3 hours, there's more time and effort on your part of that going back and forth. So to your point about, overseas, they can be really good for what they're really good for. And I know I have a team in the Philippines that do the graphics and videos because that's his zone of genius. He comes up with things that I'm like, thank God for you, because I don't think that way. I am not that creative. But I also know he can start a blog post for me, but then I have to finish it because I've given him the ideas. He started it probably with ChatGPT or AI, which I have no problems because I use it too. But then I have to go in and really make it mine and make it my voice. But I've learned over time, like, I have 3 years of social media content that we can pull from, and there's my voice, and I can reuse it because I look at my social media as kind of proof of life, proof of business, right? People can go to my Instagram or Facebook page and see what I'm offering, what I'm sharing, and that I'm consistent. And so I look at social media not necessarily so much as that growth, going viral or anything like that. It's more of grounding, letting people know, hey, I'm here. This is what I talk about. This is who I am. But there are people who look at it in different ways, and there's no right or wrong way. But if you really want it to be yours, then that is yours to do, right? So when we talk about the social media is usually someone's one line item, but social media is it's an iceberg, right? Social media is just, right? Posting it is just the tip of the iceberg, but you got to write the content, create the graphic, record the B-roll, right? Whatever you're making that into, so much of that has to start with the business owner, or find a social media manager, somebody who that's their bread and butter to make all your content sound like you. An overseas VA will do a good job at making it all branded and all work together, but you can't necessarily rely on any one person. The business owner is the captain of the ship. You have to know what all the players are doing. Even if you've got multiple team members, you still have to know what's going on. You have to have a finger on the pulse to know, is it still in alignment? Are we still talking about things that I value and want to put out there? Is this still me? And what does it look like going forward? Where do I want it to go? An amazing VA will be, yes, whatever you're doing, let's do it. Like when I wrote my book, I told my VA team, I'm like, what do we need to do so that I have the time and space to write my book? I know it's going to take roughly 6 months to do. How do we create that space so that you get what you need and I have the time that I need? We outlined and created 6 months worth of social media so that all I would have to do was approve graphics that I could do in 5 minutes. But my VA knew what the journey was looking like. He did the cover of my book. He was cheerleading me on for everything. He was so excited. He's like, we can do this reel and this carousel. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but if you want to do it, go for it. But I still had to review it. I still had to make sure that it was still in alignment with what we were doing. But I could give him that freedom because he'd been with me long enough. He'd read enough of my things. He knew where I was going, where the book was going to come in, right? And so it became this conversation that we had. And even though he's very much a doer, he was able to then collaborate with me on, okay, if this is where we're going with that, we can do this, 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 and this. But then he could also say, so I need you to give me this piece so that I can do the rest of it. And another thing that I don't think many clients understand are their gaps. So where do you need the most support? And it's not necessarily your task list. It can be, I learned that I'm a verbal processor, that if I just sit down and try to write a to-do list for my VAs, it doesn't come. But if I'm on the Zoom talking with them, I'll come up with so much stuff because it just comes out. Oh, we can do this. And oh, there's that myth. And oh, there's this idea. And I just need them to be there to receive it and to like, that's a good one. Write it out for me, because once it's out of my mouth, I forget it. So if I'm not recording something, that I forget what I said. So that's the gap, right? I forget. So I need them to kind of go, okay, you said blah, blah, blah. How would we expand on that? What would that be? Right? What should I look for? Or what can I say? And for them to then step in to pull from me those things and make them into reality, I didn't even know that was a gap that I had until they started to do that for me. And it was magical, Dori. Like, I'm like, even though it's not what I would consider, they're still doers, but they lean into collaboration because they know me now and they get me now. And they've seen enough, they've heard enough, they've been with me long enough that they can help pull things from me, because being the creator gets exhausting sometimes, especially when I'm so creative in other areas that sometimes I'm like, okay, my business, I used all my creativity for a client project and now I got none for my business. To be able to have someone on my team who can say, all right, we still have these ideas. What do you want to do with them? And to pull it back around, for me, is life changing, business changing, because now I have the book and I can say, okay, go to like chapter 5 and let's see what comes out of that. Or find quotes in my book that we can use for social media. I don't have to micromanage it because I know that they're going to pull stuff and I'm going to review it and I'm going to look at it before I say, okay, yeah, now we have our quotes for the month or whatever. But I think the myth is that you hire somebody and you can step away. And I don't think that's true. I think you still always need to be present and alert and at least have some connection to your team and what they're doing for you so that you still know what's going out on your behalf.
That's a great way to wrap up this conversation. I'm gonna ask you back because
Okay.
I do want to talk about your book,
Okay.
which we really didn't get a chance to get into, but I'm going to have links for it. So as we're wrapping up, Rachael, what would you like to leave our listeners with, and how may they reach out to you?
I would say start small and build trust with any VA. Employees get a 90-day probationary period, so it'll take at least 3 months for your VA to kind of learn you and your style. So use that time to determine, are we a right fit? Are we not a right fit? But to that point, go with the fit. Trust your gut, listen to them. Do you like what they say, how they talk to you, all of those kinds of things, not just can they do the tasks on my task list. And you can find me on my website, www.extrahandsva.com. A lot of what I share in the book can be found on my podcast, Hey, Do I Need a VA? If you're more of a auditory learner. If you need to read and do hands-on exercises, the book is a how-to guide, and I take you through all the pre-work that I didn't do when I was hiring my VA. And surprisingly, a lot of it is mindset rather than actual tangible things. It's, who am I to let go of these tasks? What mindset shifts do I need to make to be the leader of my team? That was a really hard one for me, letting go of perfectionism and all of that. So there's a lot to talk about in terms of the book and everything too.
Good. Well, we'll have you back in the spring because I would actually love to get you into the author's alley and really delve into it. All of Rachael's links are going to be live on wordofmomradio.com. I encourage you to reach out. I really do. So, Rachael, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today on the show.
Thank you, Dori. Thank you for having me.
It's been my pleasure. And for all of you tuning in, thanks so much for being here. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you, she is you, she is you, she is you. She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you, she is you, she is you, she is you. Sure of herself, yes, she takes care of biz, powerful and strong, yes, she knows who she is, has integrity, woman strong and true. You know her by name, see this woman is you. She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you, she is you, she is you, she is you. She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you, she is you, she is you, she is you. Adds value and hope, has proved to be brave. See, it's never too late, never time to behave. Reaching for dreams, doesn't matter the age. Believes in herself, unleashed from her cage. She is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true.